People, deluded. I'm back again. Fridays, it's me and Dan Potts days, people. We alternate between the channels, so we're back on his platform. And, you know, we all know the elephant in the room. We're still riding the highs of beating Real Madrid. Me and this guy on our own channels, on platforms with other people, with ourselves, on a show like this. There's been many highs and lows, and it's fantastic that we beat Real Madrid, man. How you doing, my boy?
Listen, man, there's been some bad weeks and some good weeks. I would say that this one is described as great, if I'm honest with you, my bro. I hope it ain't ruined tomorrow when we get back to Premier League football, of course. But I've had some good times supporting this club, and I've watched some brilliant games. That's right up there with being one of the best I've ever been to, bro.
You mentioned it there, yeah, and I'm happy that you mentioned it, yeah, because many people are saying, you know, obviously we'll get into it, but it has to go from being a great night to obviously see what we can do in the competition. But you touched on it. You said you was at the game. For you, would you say that's the best European night in the Emirates history?
I think so. In fact, I think it's probably the best night in terms of all competitions. Seen some great Premier League games. You know, I think back to nights on games that I've enjoyed for different reasons at the Emirates. I mean, Highbury, there was loads as well, but we talk about the actual kind of scenarios that we've found ourselves in. This one's right up there. I can compare it to the Arshavin moment where he scored against Barcelona. If I'm honest with you, though, DG, I went into that second leg and I actually went to the new camp for that game as well, believing that we were going to still need a miracle to go through because it was only 2-1. The Danny Welbeck header, thought might won a title that season against Leicester.
Don't remind me.
No, I'm saying Thierry Henry's last-minute goal against Man United, we moved to the Emirates, was a great one, but we weren't really going for a title in that season. I loved the Henry goal when he come back and scored against Leeds at the Emirates. But really, we didn't win the FA Cup that year, which he scored in, so it wasn't really one that you can think back as being memorable to win us something. I love the Reece Nelson last-minute goal against Bournemouth because I thought we were going to win the league that year, and then that didn't turn out to be anything. So we've had some unbelievable moments at the Emirates, and we've had some good defeats where we've beaten Man United, Man City, Chelsea. The Spurs 5-2s were absolutely amazing. But I really think this one's trumps it all because, one, no one gave us a chance. Two, it's against the best team that probably is in existence. Whether you believe it to be the best 11 or the best team, is the best club in the world right now that no one give us a hope in hell for. We've got
15-time winners, reigning Champions League holders as well.
Bro, in terms of heritage and our heritage comparison to them, they leave us dead in the water and we blitzed them. So for me, I think in terms of the shock result and the performance itself, the team performance and certain individuals, which we'll come on to, I think it's probably the best that I've been to. And just on a side note to that, the fans are the best that I've seen at the Emirates. The atmosphere was just absolute fire, bro. From minute one to singing, to the light show, to kick off, right the way through to the final whistle. It was, bro, one of the best I've been to. And the performance was outstanding, particularly in the second half. And some of the individuals
smelled blood in the last half hour.
And we needed to because they were there for the taking. And I think we've got one foot in the semis, but I know we'll come on to it, man.
You touched on it there, Dan, man. And, you know, again, it's one where I'm jealous of you. Only God knows what, you know, it's one thing you describing it. And I asked that because as a selfish Arsenal fan, but obviously we've got supporters of our club and our content that is abroad in it. So it's almost like an eye opener. I'm jealous, man. I'm jealous because that will stay with you to the day you die, innit, really and truly. And all the little other isms and schisms. You probably saw a bunch of season ticket holders and regulars that like we said, the highs and the lows. So it must have been absolutely crazy, man. If I share my screen, oh yeah, by the way, Frank, appreciate your super chat, my boy. I appreciate that. Don't think it's gone misunderstood, you know. And if I share my screen with you, like Mikel Arteta on beating Real Madrid, he said we had the opportunity to make a lot of people happy and proud, and we certainly did that. Now, if I'm being devil's advocate, yeah, I think me and you are quite aligned where it comes to Mikel Arteta in that we praise him where he gets praised. We don't necessarily think he's a rubbish manager. We think it's a unique situation, and we do hold him accountable because if we think this about you and you've got all the plaudits, we have to ask the question why you haven't got over the line. And one of the saddest things for me, which obviously with the Champions League I hope isn't the case, is that whatever me and you say about our transfer market, who's come in the club, who's gone out the club, we've beaten the current Premier League holders, Manchester City, 5-1, and then we've topped it with Real Madrid. And there's a reality where that will come to nothing. But being devil's advocate, do you start to feel that despite all of the criticisms we have of Mikel Arteta, when he pulls off results like that, yeah, I'm being a bit reactionary, but maybe we're being a bit too harsh on him? Should we, you know, not call for him to be potentially sacked? Where are you at with the gaffer? Has anything changed?
No, nothing's changed other than me to say what a performance from him, because I thought he got everything spot on the night. Now, we can go down that road and go, oh, do you know what? He beat Real Madrid 3-0. Let's give him another 5 years because he's been absolutely exceptional. I think that's going a little bit too over the top, in my opinion. We've sort of got to win this competition. It's not about getting through against Real Madrid and then he gets a new contract, even though he's already got one already. I think when we look at Mikel Arteta, should he stay, should he go? I'm kind of done with that debate now because he's staying. So it's a little bit like saying, you know, what do you think of Aubameyang? Do you think he should have stayed or should have gone? Well, he's gone now. Who cares? Like, you know what I mean? He's done. Like, we move on. I feel like we're kind of at that scenario with Mikel Arteta. We're talking about him leaving or staying. Well, he's already signed. He knows he's staying. There's a massive summer planned. Berta has been appointed alongside him. You know, they wouldn't be doing that if he was going to be coming out the door. They'd be looking at a new manager and asking Berta who they believe we should be appointing alongside him, right? So it looks like they're giving him this kind of faith. If he goes and wins the Champions League, I'm happy to go on a stream and go and take selfies with a bloody statue that he's had made for him and all this. I don't care. Like,
join the club. This is what we want.
Saying, I'll eat as much humble pie as everyone wants. I'll say I didn't think he was good enough to get across the line, and I'll hold my hands up and say I'm wrong. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of Muppets online that will think that's box office entertainment content. But for me, if he does the unthinkable, which is win, which is what I think we should be calling for him to do, he's done his job and he deserves his contract and he deserves to stay. So that's where I'm at. You know, if it was me and I was running Arsenal, he would be removed if he doesn't win the Champions League end of this season. However, that ain't going to happen. I don't run Arsenal. A lot of the people in the chat are probably glad I don't run Arsenal because they love him. So for me, they're all believing that this guy can do the best and bring out trophies to us. So I really hope that there are, there's a chance for us to go all the way. I think we will get to the final. I think we will.
Hope so.
I don't know that we're good enough to beat Barcelona or Inter, but I do think that we'll get to the final. But then it's a roll of a dice. I think the PSG side is actually the one I wanted, not Villa. Now, I'm we've not got there and neither of PSG yet, but if you're looking at predictions and when you do the tables, I now see that changing. I had an El Clasico final before
so did I.
Picked. I thought it would be Barcelona and Real Madrid. I think Barcelona are the best out there. I think Inter Milan are a close second, but because they're on the same side of the draw, one of them's going out. For me, I think Barcelona's quality will shine through, although I do not think people should be sleeping on Inter Milan. I think Simone Inzaghi is ridiculously good, talented manager, tactician. But I really think we've got 1 foot in the semi-finals now, and it's going to be squeaky bum time. But I do believe that if they score early, then there's going to be a lot of nerves in the team and the stadium for Arsenal fans. But we've got to relax. We're 3-0 up. The last time we conceded 3 goals was in December 2023, and that was against Luton with a last-minute Declan Rice header.
Mad, isn't it?
So when you look at it like that, it's been a long time. So this defensive unit is one thing that I will say I have a lot of credit for. And I thought the back line and the midfield against Real Madrid on Tuesday were outstanding, DG. I've got to say it.
Well, Dan, everything you said, I echo, and it's lovely. You know, if you told me that we'd beat Real Madrid, I would have probably looked at you like you're smoking something special, and definitely within the remit with this. And I want to see
3-0 as well. Like
3-0, bro. 3-0, bro. Not 1, not 2, but 3. And we'll get onto it. But 2 screamers from our 6/80. Merino, who's not a striker. We got a centre mid player, left back. We got a depleted side. That's actually one thing I've liked as well, because I don't really care about external validation where it comes to our football club. And I know the game's the game, right? But it wasn't said before, but there was that element of, it's not the best Madrid side. They're in poor form, blah, 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 blah. And people would look at that to kind of knock down what we achieved in 90 minutes. That is not Arsenal's strongest team, and we've been critical about our players' ability to handle pressure in high moments. You know, we've been critical about the stadium, and they stood up tall, from the young Lewis Skelly to Merino, who's, you know, had a bit of a mixed season per se, to Kivior, who can't buy a game, and if it was up to me, you wouldn't have played. Like, I have to give Timber's amazing. You have to give the plaudits to everyone, and what I liked about that was a professional performance. I think mentally we approached it in the best way. There were a couple of shaky moments, and on another day, and definitely against Real Madrid, I wish that we scored a couple of goals similar to Merino's, in that Saka could have had 2-3 assists. And Bukayo Saka, what a player and what a campaign he's having despite his injury. Like, we stood up to be counted. Why do you think, though, like, maybe not necessarily the result, you could include that if you want, but why do you think these nights are a rarity at Arsenal? Like, we could count on one hand, as you kind of alluded to, you know, Barcelona. I think there was one against Bayern Munich. In the Premier League, you've obviously got Nelson, you've got Welbeck, I'm sure Cesc Fabregas has one. Why do you think these things are because Liverpool get it all the time. Like, why do you think this is like it's a rarity? I guess I'm asking.
I just think it's a harsh reality of how poor Arsenal have been in the last decade, if I'm honest with you, bro. That we are clutching at straws at these moments, and we haven't got many, unfortunately, to share like some of the other clubs have. Manchester City, Liverpool, you've got to say it, Chelsea. They've all had better nights than us in the last decade, unfortunately. And although our nights have been great, it still hasn't really led to anything yet at the Emirates. You know, we've not, other than a handful of FA Cups, won anything there. I think when people say you haven't won anything there, it's hard to win stuff there because you don't actually win a trophy there unless you win the Premier League title on the last day of the season, right? So normally you go into Wembley to win stuff, and obviously wherever you're playing in the Champions League final, if you get there. But I feel like there's just been a lack of opportunities for Arsenal to get thus far. Obviously, Bayern Munich, we were disappointed last season. There wasn't really any epic nights there. Previously, we were in the Europa League. We didn't have any amazing nights there. We struggled, if I'm honest with you, previously in Champions League nights where we've been embarrassed under Arsene Wenger, where we've been losing 10-2 against Bayern Munich at 2 legs. We've gone out to a lot of clubs, Barcelona's, Bayern Munich's, AC Milan's. It's been tough. And that's all I put it down to. We pray and we cross everything that we've got more success to come and more nights like that. But let's be real, as much as it sounds very pessimistic and negative to say, this means absolutely nothing if we lose 3-0 and go out on penalties. So we have to get the job done over there and not get too giddy.
And you mentioned it, yeah. It's like the only thing that takes the gloss off this is the talking points. Like, where's this Arsenal been all season? Why haven't we become accustomed to this? It's side note, completely irrelevant. But one thing I did like, and maybe I'm just on the hopium and copium, but Berta on the pitch for no reason after the game, right? But it's almost like a thing where it's like we have the nights where we kind of get to see what we could be like on a regular basis, and then we do certain other things which is quite jarring. Well, I wanted to ask you, because you kind of touched on it, yeah. How do you approach the game at their place? Because the only thing that takes the gloss off this beyond the obvious is, I know our defensive record's great. You said it there. Like, the last time we conceded 3 was against Luton. We haven't been our standards defensively, but we are still good defensively. If anybody could do it, it is Real Madrid, but even that's potentially bleak. Like, how do you approach the leg at their place?
I don't think we do anything too dissimilar to what we did at the Emirates, because we didn't go all out there and pepper their goal and gung-ho football, and we weren't in a position to be like, how aren't we 4-0 up the way we're playing? We didn't leave ourselves open. We kept us
Courtois was in top form.
Listen, Courtois was outstanding. I think he was their best player, if I'm honest with you. And I look at the scenario of 3-0 going to the Bernabeu. Why are we so nervous? Well, we're nervous because this is Real Madrid. We know they're going to do everything they can to try and do and make it as difficult as possible. They're going to get into our faces. They're going to get into the ear of the referee. They're going to get into the ears of UEFA. And they're going to do all they can to go through, because that's what they do, man. And this is Real Madrid. We can never believe that we're into a, oh my God, this is a given now, because Real Madrid are that team. How do we approach it? We need to remain consistent with our defending, because defensively, we've always got a chance against teams when we play well defensively. Timber, Lewis Skelly, both deserve a mention. Saliba showed leadership qualities. Kivior, great performance from him after the first.
Gooner wants Gabriel Magalhaes sold if Kivior has a similar performance at the Bernabeu. I just wanted to throw that out to you. He's moving madly on the stream yesterday, but go ahead.
It's insane how good he was and how good we were defensively. Thomas Partey and Declan Rice need to put in another performance like that. So if we do that, we'll go through. If we start getting shaky, nervous, and start to believe that we're inferior to them and that we're in a position where we might be vulnerable or see ourselves as the massive underdogs going into this thing, then we might lose the fight. But if I'm honest with you, I believe if everyone stays fit, we've got a great opportunity of going through. I don't care what the scoreline is as long as it's not 3-0.
Trust me.
I don't even care if it's 2-0 and the whistle goes and we think, oh, that was a bit squeaky bum time. We're through. Just get us through into that semi-final, and then we roll the dice against PSG or Aston Villa. So for me, that's how we set up, and we go exactly the same. It's not, oh my God, make sure we're always defensively resolute. We're always pretty compact at the moment. We've got players that have more defensive ability in our side than attacking abilities, yeah? We've got Marino up front, for goodness sake. The only attackers in our side are Saka, Martinelli and Odegaard. The other 8 are all defensive-minded. So let's just have it right. We should not be going out 3-0 and then losing in extra time or going out by 4. This should be Arsenal's semi-final now. Should be.
People will keep, like, you're right. But if I just like hold on that a bit, some people are saying, you know what, go there, low blocks, deep blocks, soak up the pressure for 90 minutes, see where it takes us. Others are saying, you know what, go gun hold. They have to kind of attack. If it's open on the transition, we could get a goal. You never know what could kind of happen. Like, what do you think it would be the best approach in theory with that? Because like this comment says here, park the bus. I don't think personally we should I think we should approach it the same way we did. I know the games are not the same, but the same way we did at the Emirates over there. I think if you park the bus with their fans, with what it means to Real Madrid, with all the voodoo, also because Real Madrid, this is the one time they probably got to show that they're Real Madrid, not to talk us up. They've lost 3-0, they lost to Valencia. Form's been kind of poor. Like, would it be better to just go gun-ho attack or just sit there and soak up pressure and see what we could do?
So big up to Boston, man. I agree with the last thing.
Boston, man.
Yeah, I agree with his last bit. We don't need to score. That's facts. I don't agree with the other part, though, right? I don't agree with the other part because it's facts. We don't need to score. If it's 0-0, cool. It's all good, right? However, if we are just parking the bus, we're inviting them to come and have a go at us. We're saying, come and try and get through us. Now, that's very dangerous to do against any side, but it's very, very dangerous to do against Vinny Jr., Rodrigo, and Mbappe with Bellingham behind them. That's very, very dangerous. Their fans will get up for it. Their fans will believe they're the better side. The momentum will start to get into the game, and they will break through us. Now, I'm not saying they're going to break through us 3 or 4 times because I think our defense is better than what people give us credit for at times. However, I think if we come out there and we actually keep possession of the football like we're very good at doing, I think that is definitely the way forward, as opposed to just giving it back to them, smashing it back up to, Rudiger and letting him start again to have another pepper at our goal. I ain't going to enjoy watching that for 90 minutes, trust me. Yeah. So I think that we come and we believe that we're a good side. We believe that we can match them. We believe that we're the team that beat them 3-0 in the first leg and have belief and self-belief as a team that actually we could go to the Bernabeu and beat them. Like we haven't conceded against them yet, right? We've played them 3 times. We're yet to concede a goal. Now I know they're completely different sides, so both sets of sides, Arsenal's and Real Madrid's. I said I didn't believe that we would be able to do what was amazing last season because we had TT. We don't have TT anymore. However, when you've got players like Declan Rice that can put 2 of the best free kicks you'll see in your life in the top bins, and you've got Mikel Marino who deserves a lot of credit with his finishing ability. Not that I thought he was outstanding. I thought he definitely deserves credit. You know that we've got moments players, and I think that's something I've questioned. Is Saka's our only moments player? I think we've proved that we've got another couple in the side now. So I think for me, we just need to understand what's at stake here. We're 3-0 up. We do not lose this game now. Do not go out of this game in this scenario. Because that third goal, that Marino goal, by the way, is so important. Yeah, when you look at it going in there, people in the chat saying you didn't give us a glimmer of hope. I didn't.
They didn't do the same either, man.
I give us no hope. I'm happy to hold my hands up and say I give us
no
hope.
Everyone's a genius in hindsight.
And don't get me wrong. If you would have said to me Arsenal 1-2-1 at the Emirates, I wouldn't have gone, you're kidding me. You're kidding. I would have gone, wow, amazing.
I'd have been wild regardless, even if we went with a draw.
Like, this is for me. When people said to me, what do you think will happen? Oh, I don't know, but we won't go through the tie, I said. Oh, you didn't give us a glimmer. You thought we'd get pammed. I never said we get pammed. I didn't think we'd go through the tie. I didn't go if that was 2-1 or 4-2 or 2-0 or whatever. I didn't think it would be like 10-1. Do you know what I mean? So I just didn't think we were going to be 3-0 up in the first leg. I don't think anybody did, man. People can laugh at people that doubted and all that, but let's be real. No one had 3-0.
Dan, who cares? Like, we want to be wrong. We want to win stuff. It's like when everything's going bad at the club, the negatives do. I told you so. We won, bro. Brother, we won. We won 3 goals to 0. The job's not done.
People that say we were going to beat Man City 3-0, and we drew 2-2, are on the other end of it going, I got that wrong. Sometimes you get it wrong in football, man. And you know what? I think there's a lot of the pundits that were shocked and stunned. The media were outstanding.
L-Bags lottery tickets numbers, man.
Yeah, man. Do you know what? The goals, which I'm sure we'll come on to, the commentary was so good, man. Like, I listened to all the commentary. It was just, I haven't heard commentary like that for a long time when it comes to Arsenal, So, yeah, man,
exactly.
It's class, man. It's class.
Let's get into some individual performances. Let's start from back to front. Yeah, obviously, big up David Raya. You did have 1-2 saves to make with Mbappe. Not downplaying your performance, but you was calm. Kivior, because big up Gooner Lee. But Gooner, I'm very critical of Kivior. But Gooner Lee was saying, you know what? If Kivior has another performance like that at the Bernabeu, Gabriel Magalhaes, 100 million to Saudi, uncomfortable conversations. And many people would have, had Ben White have been a bit fitter, maybe Kivior doesn't play. Let's be real. Obviously, this game is romantic and he did well, but he only comes in when we're down to our bare bones. But if I'm critical of him, I have to give you your flowers. You stood up tall. You did, there was a couple of shaky moments initially from several players. That's bound to happen. And I do think people focus on Kivior's ones and not necessarily our star boy, Bukayo Saka, etc. But he stood up tall, man. What do you make of Kivior first thing?
I thought he was outstanding other than the first couple of minutes, which looked pretty shaky.
Exactly.
Other than that, yeah, outstanding. Now, look, I'm not going to start getting giddy because I didn't think Mbappe, Vinny and Rodrigo were allowed to do much on the ball thanks to our defensive unit. And I thought Kivior complemented a part of that back four. I didn't think Kivior played out of his skin and was like winning every battle and was, on the ball, balling out. I don't want to get too carried away with his performance. I thought it was very good. Very, very good. And if I'm honest with you, I thought he was half decent against Everton as well.
He was good against Everton. Still.
Yeah. When you look at the last 2 games, you think fair play. And do you know what was mad? I saw a stat, and I don't know if it was a fake stat or if it was someone like trolling. I don't think Saliba and Kivior have lost a game when they've played together, and I don't think
I've seen that as well.
Is that a true stat?
It must be. I believe it because they ain't played that many games together. It must be true.
Yeah, that's true.
But then you never know. Like, did they start together against Sporting in a way? We didn't. I don't even remember the scoreline.
I don't remember, if I'm honest.
I don't remember.
I don't know. It was 1-1, so it gave me true that game. But yeah, I thought Kivior was outstanding. And do you know what? He'll play now for the rest of the season. I think when you put these players in, DG, and you have no confidence and they prove you wrong, you've got to say they've taken their chance. We've been bigging up players like Skelly and Ethan for taking their chance. Kivior's now got his chance. Gabriel's out for the season. And at the moment, when you look at it on paper, whether you believe I don't know if I fancy him, he's the backup. So he should come in, and he has come in. So fair play.
Will Dan apologize to the Polish Maldini? We've all given I know it's all banter, but we've all given Maldini. We've all given Kivior his flowers. I mean, going back to L Bags because you're always here and you're on Dan's platform. All I'm gonna say is you was right, I was wrong. But if you're right all of the time, can we get some lottery ticket numbers? Because I want to be rich and I'll buy Isaac for this football club if you're on the right money. What do you make of Saliba? Because obviously a lot of people have said, Saliba ain't been at his best. And I agree with that on one hand, but then I also believe when you've set the levels you have in the last 2 years, are you playing it poorly or is it because we're used to something? Naturally, Gabriel compliments him. He's like the big brother to the little brother. And even everyone that's gassing Kivior, you wanted Magalhaes. I saw Saliba stand up tall. I think that's his best performance of the season, mainly because of the leadership. I saw him take on the mantelpiece from Gabriel. What did you make of William Saliba?
Oh man, I love this performance.
Quality.
I love this performance, man. I love this performance, and I think it's the only time I've seen William Saliba lead Arsenal. And what I mean by that is I've never really had him down as one of our captains. I never really believed that he'd be in the say when you talk about who should have the armband. Erdegaard's got it. We look at Rice and Gabriel. Sometimes it's given to Saka or Gabriel Jesus or one of the experienced men like Jorginho. I would be more than happy after seeing his performance leadership-wise to give him the armband if needed. Not as in front of the others, but if it was a chance of that thing. You're part of it. You're the next one. The other couple have got injured or they're not away or it's a cup game and he's got to come in and lead. I'd be happy to give him the armband because what I saw was a proper Rolls-Royce defender. You know why everyone's looking at this lad. He's absolutely outstanding. Good bit of defending from him as well for one of our headers in the first half. It's just a shame it was Real Madrid. Outstanding from him from head to toe. He looks calm and composed on the football more than I've seen in a long time. I think his ball playing is outstanding. And if you look at what Rio Ferdinand was doing at this age, I don't think that he was as good as what Saliba is doing. Now, people might disagree because he would have won stuff by now and he was outstanding at West Ham, which got him the move to Leeds, which then got him the move to Manchester United. By the age of 23, 24, I think Rio had only just gone to Manchester United, if I'm wrong. I might lie. That might not be true. But I don't think he'd have won as much stuff in the game as what he might have at that stage. Even Van Dijk at this age wasn't what that's a good example as well. So Van Dijk was at Groningen and then Celtic and then obviously Southampton, then Liverpool. So for me, I think when you compare him to what other players have done and defenders have done, it's been outstanding. And if I'm honest with you, I've just looked at the partnership of William Saliba and Kivior. They've lost one game since 2023 when they've been
Madness.
pairing together. They've played quite a few games here as well. And the only games they've lost is Fulham away last season, 2-1, where Kivior actually come off in the end because he was quite bad at 46. I think he come off at half time, so he played quite badly. But he was at left back then, not at centre back. And the other two games we lost was Porto 1-0 away, where Drea got lobbed. And we lost 2-0 at Liverpool in the FA Cup last season.
PTSD.
Everything else is either a draw or a win. And we've got probably 35 games there, I would say, 30 games. So in those 30 games, we've lost once against Fulham, went out against Liverpool, and we lost to Porto. So 3 times we've lost with them two playing in the team. Sometimes you look at that and think, wow, I never noticed that. Like, I never noticed the consistency of Koscielny and Mertesacker for years, but I looked at the stats. We hardly lost when they partnered together. We went through a stage of having 22 games without a loss or something when they were both at the back together. So as much as you don't like people on paper, sometimes they complement each other. I remember there being a crazy comparison here when we first started and we were in the absolute dross. Pablo Mari and Rob Holding were statistically our best partnership together, right? Now, I wouldn't want them.
Some people used to say Marie was better than Magalhaes. We was in the mud.
There we go. There's so many people that were like, this guy looks unbelievable. So sometimes partnerships complement each other. Now, the best partnership we've got is Gabriel and Saliba, right? And I'm not saying that this partnership will be better, but actually Kivior alongside Saliba, I don't want to speak too soon, but it hasn't been too bad statistically.
Does that change your mind about maybe getting rid of Kivior in the summer?
It doesn't, and I'll tell you why. It's nothing to do with his quality. It's to do with him. I think he wants first team football, and I don't think we can offer him that. And you need to allow that. You need to want players there as the kind of player to get in. And I do think we can upgrade on Kivior as well still. There's links with Dean Howson over at Bournemouth. Jorel Harto is being linked over at Ajax. I think Liverpool want him as well. Obviously, there's players that haven't really been mentioned for a couple of seasons that aren't really settling into their squads that have come in. And Evan and Ndika was mentioned from Roma, who I've always been a fan of defensively. I think Murillo or Milenkovic would be unbelievable signings, if I'm honest with you.
Murillo in particular, wow.
Yeah. So I think there's players that we can, but I don't think it's a priority, if I'm honest.
Do you think, like, again, I'm going to get into the transfers in a bit, yeah, but when you see some of this, I think everyone can see maybe there's a case for like a Timber Tomiyasu defender that can fill in those positions. Some would say a left-sided centre-back, some would say a left-back, some would say a right centre-back who could play right-back. Do you feel like we need that?
Yeah, I mean, I still don't think we've sorted out the strength in depth in defence, and people might laugh at me because we have got a stats.
It sounds mad, but I'm with you when you break it down.
Yeah, like, if you got them all fit and all on paper, you'd go, oh, Arsenal don't need any defenders. But they're not fit on paper all the time, right? So Zinchenko, nobody wants. Kieran Tierney, nobody wants other than me, right? Calafiori, people have doubts about. Lewis Skelly and Timber have come in brilliantly, but Tomiyasu's always injured. So out of the fullbacks I've just named there's only Calafiori, Lewis Skelly, and Timber and White that people want to keep. So that means we've only got 3 fullbacks, yeah? So we might need another one. Then you look at the centre-halves. We've just discussed how Kivior might be moved on, so we need to bring somebody in. Well, that's a left-sided centre-back we're bringing in, so Gabriel's now got cover, but who's covering for Saliba? So what we have is we only actually have, instead of 8 defenders, 2 right-backs, 2 left-backs, 2 right-sided centre-backs, and 2 left-sided centre-backs.
A mix and blend.
We've got a mix and blend of, you 4 are all playing in your positions, but the other 4 can play everywhere. And I don't like that amount of versatility. I like someone who comes in and does a job for a couple of games, but not like, I will leave that, because if he goes out for 6 months, Tomiyasu will just be our centre-back for 6 months. Nah, man, that's not what you want. Like, we need to be strong in every position. So Timber and White is strong at right-back. Calafiori and Lewis Skelly at left-back. We need to go and buy 2 centre-halves if Kivior goes. So we could end up getting rid of Tomiyasu, Zinchenko, Kivior and Tierney, but we need to bring in 2 more. We need to bring in somebody like Milenkovic and Harto. Yeah, that's what we would need to do. Yeah, or Howson and Harto coming in to back up for Gabriel and Saliba. This is how we go and win competitions and because this is the thing, we haven't won anything.
Competing for trophies.
And compete with 4, not, we might win 1. This is what we're trying to do to get across the line for 1. We need to be competing with all 4. We're like Manchester City and Chelsea were doing. So when Manchester City gets Stones out, they're like, right, Nathan Ake comes in. Ake's not about. He's suspended. All right, we'll bring Akanji in then. Yeah, but Akanji, all right, we'll bring Gvardiol in then. All right, we've got Diaz. They can all play centre-half.
And then there's some random academy player that will plug some sort of gap. And Pep will play, got a Nunes right back or something.
And Liverpool, like people say Liverpool squad's not better than ours, but we're at the back. They're actually got 2 right backs in Trent and Bradley, 2 left backs in Tsimikas and Robertson, 2 left-sided centre backs in Joe Gomez and Konate, and 2 right-sided in Van Dijk and Quansah. So they've actually got 8 defenders, 4 fullbacks, 4 centre backs. We don't have that. We've got 6 left
That's a good
backs.
point, Dan. I didn't think of it
You know
like
what I'm
that.
saying?
I can't lie. That's a great point, Dan, because I would have said, if somebody asked me before you broke it down, I would have said we've got stronger defensive depths than Liverpool, and you just proved me wrong there. And obviously,
We've got more left backs, that's for sure.
yeah, that's true. And even that, they can throw Joe Gomez, and the Joe Gomez can throw over there. Tsimikas is over there. Connor Bradley.
Yeah,
we need depth in it. And even when you look at our squad, and people like to say if and when everybody's fit, I feel that's the red flag, because not everyone's going to be fit all of the time. As you said, there's injuries, there's suspensions, there's X, Y, Z. And if there was ever a season that we know why you need depth, it's now. As romantic as it is with the starting 11, for example, against Real Madrid, this time next year, you don't want to be in that. With the greatest of respect to Kivio, Mikel Marino's done his thing up front. You want a proper striker. You want a centre back that you've got real confidence in. Lewis Skelly, unicorn, doing his thing. In fact, that's something I don't want to skip over. Julian Timber and Lewis Skelly, man.
bro.
Lewis Skelly's going down in folklore, man. He's not making, he's playing well. Like what that man has done in these 8 months to playing against Real Madrid and starring in the game and playing a key role. I'm running out of words for that 18-year-old, bro. I don't. How many games has he even played for us? It might even barely be 20, maybe 20 and some change. It's mad. It's mad. And shout out Timber, post ACL.
Brother, these 2 were probably the 2 that I would have mentioned after Partey and Rice straight away. People have given Marino flowers and Saka and Martinelli, and I'm sure we'll get onto them at some point. But I look at these 2, and I just cannot believe how good they were against 2 of the best wingers in world football. Whether you're a fan of Vinny Jr. and Rodrigo ahead of some others in the game, that's a different debate. But don't tell me they're not world-class players, because they've been phenomenal for the last few seasons. They've won everything with Madrid, and they've been really pivotal into how they've won, which is why people think Vinny Jr. and Rodrigo have been better than Saka and Martinelli when people do combined 11s. Yeah, of course they have been. They've been absolutely phenomenal, in what they've done in the last few years at Real Madrid and what they've won, and how they've been pivotal to scoring their goals and moments players and all this kind of stuff. This is why they are better than them. Like, I love Saka. He's my boy, and I'll stick up for him and I'll back him to the hill. But you can't say that he's been there and done it like Rodrigo has. So Rodrigo's ahead of him in the pecking order, right? Individually, you might have a debate that Saka's better. But right now, you look at what Rodrigo's doing and how pivotal he's been for Real Madrid for what he's won, which is why that people would say he was better. We're talking about Vinny Jr. as one of the best players in the world right now. And both of them just literally breeze them, bro. And when I look at what Lewis Skelly has done as an 18-year-old, it is literally phenomenal and quite outstanding.
Makes me think, what the hell was I doing at 18 when I was trying to get driver's license?
18 years old, I was had a beer in my hand and I was chatting up women. Yeah, this
exactly. Like, life is not fair, man. Shout out Lewis Skelly, man.
He's probably doing that on the side as well, to be fair to him.
He needs to. You think I wouldn't be in my Instagram DMs after a game like that? It's probably why I'm not a footballer and he is.
Exactly, bro. I don't think there's any body that can doubt this kid. He's been getting quite a lot of stick on social media for being this cocky, arrogant, stay humble type character.
But then we say everybody's the same in football. You can't have your cake and eat it.
Facts, bruv. And I've got to be real. Yeah, there's an opportunity here that he's found. Big up to SLD, man. He's found an opportunity and he's taken it, bruv. Right? Not just has he got himself into the first team and then around it in pre-season. He's then showed the boss that he can do something when called upon. He's got a versatility about his game, like he can play in another couple of positions, just like Ethan can. And at left back, it was a position I didn't see him playing in when he was a youngster, but he has absolutely taken his chance. And I look at him and think, sometimes you get caught out. His performance on Tuesday proved that he can be disciplined. The reason, if you think about it, when he has got caught out, if the games, if I remind myself of the game where he got caught out, we were trying to score a goal. So, for example, Fulham, was probably the only one I would say, didn't need to go up and bomb there. We were 2-0 up.
I said this on your stream. I think Arteta should have taken him off then. So I do think
exactly that.
Lewis Skelly's got to do something, but it's game management in that game.
Exactly that. Liverpool, he got caught out, but we needed to. We had, I think, a back 5 at the time, which was depleted.
I'm sure Bolton as well in the League Cup or something.
League Cup, but there was one more against
Newcastle?
West Ham where he got sent off.
West Ham as well.
And he got caught out. But we were 1-0 down and he was trying to, get on the ball and do what he could with it. He got caught out and pulled the guy back. So I don't look at his opportunities of bad discipline. The Everton penalty was a mad one. The PSV yellow
Madness.
card, I could say, was potentially a question mark for him.
First time he
Everyone
showed his age that
the
game.
Wolves one, but they admitted they got that wrong and said, it's not a red card, so they got it rescinded. I looked at his performance and I thought, right, I've got huge question marks over our left-hand side anyway. I've got even more
And it's still
question
there.
marks now because Kivior and Lewis Skelly are now together. This is going to be a test. And both of them pulled through. And I think what Lewis Skelly has done in the matter of 6 to 8 months has been something that no player can dream of, let alone him. Yeah, he's walked into the first team. He's got himself into the first team. He's got himself off the bench a few times. Then he's held down a position at left back, position that he's not really played a lot. He's been
Stuck it
fearless.
on Haaland, made his England debut. It's crazy.
He's made his England debut. He's scored on his England debut. Gets called up there. He's now gone and played against Real Madrid in the Champions League. This guy deserves his flowers. And if I'm honest with you, I don't think he's got anywhere near enough plaudits because rival fans don't like to praise Arsenal players. That's what it is. Chelsea.
He should win PFA Young Player of the Year, if I'm honest.
Yeah, and I think he should get that. I don't know if he will because normally it goes to someone who's 23, but they've really been on the scene for about 5 years. Yeah, so
Foden's gonna get it again.
It'll probably be somebody in the mold of, I don't know, Ryan Gravenberch or someone like that. Yeah, that's probably what it'll be. But when you look at what it should be Miles Lewis Skelly ahead of Ethan as well. And I think one area is unbelievable. So when I look at his performance, I thought it was outstanding. Timber, I'm running out of superlatives for him now.
I've got no words. Timber's just this guy, brother, amazing,
absolutely outstanding. And I don't know another fullback at right back in the world right now doing what he's doing. Please chuck some names.
Post ACL.
Yeah. ACL, robot, come back consistently, unbelievable amount of games, playing at left back, playing at centre back, playing at right back, which I think he's definitely our best right back and one of our best players. I think he is absolutely outstanding. And I think he is as good as Gabriel was a signing for Arteta. I think Gabriel just edges it in terms of Arteta signings, but Timber for me is now second. He has been absolutely world class for us, mate. And I don't think people spoke about this signing enough at the time. I
said it. I said this is the most important signing that we would have made. And I said because Rice was signed for 100-odd mil, fair play. Timber's crazy. Now, Rice, you scored 2 great goals, and I'm sure Dan will get on it. But Timber, thank you, man. Like that's all I can say. Thank you, Timber.
He's been outstanding. He has. And for 38 mil, yeah, what a signing. Versatile, would walk into any team in the Premier League. And if you're looking at right backs in the world football, right now, I think when everybody is fit, Julian Timber's right up there. People can shout out Trent and Hakimi, and you can pick out Valverde or Carvajal if you want to. For me, I think he has been absolutely world class in his position. Love him.
I mean, Timber and Lewis Skelly is the shortest ones, man. I'm happy to have I see someone in the chat say Lewis Skelly's the next Ashley Cole. He's got a long way to go. But if you've been playing for 8 months in his first team, and that's a conversation, that's great. Personally, I'd love him to get more opportunities in midfield, but that would probably mean Declan Rice going to the right. And obviously Lewis Skelly playing in the 8 or 6 on that side. But these are good conversations, man. So, yeah, big up these players for standing up to be counted. So that's our back 5, yeah. If we progress it into midfield, I want to talk about, obviously, we'll get on to Declan Rice. He's been up here for a minute. He scored 2 goals. It cost 105 million. Everybody's had a lot of shit to say about Arsenal and Declan Rice, even though I think he's like Superman. He stood up to be counted numerous times. In context, is not like scoring 2 bangers against Madrid, but in context is like that. But I feel if you can isolate Declan Rice's goals, right, we needed everyone in midfield to stand up to be counted. Now, the 2 people behind Odegaard in Declan Rice and Partey, if you park Rice's great goals off, I think Partey was superb. He rolled back the years, man. Where are you at with Rice and obviously Thomas?
Got to be 2 of the best individual performances I've seen in midfield for quite some time, bruv. Let's start with Partey because Rice gets the plaudits for the goals in a minute. I thought he was close to being player of the match. I thought he controlled everything in midfield. I thought it was an absolute Rolls-Royce performance. If people are calling Saliba a Rolls-Royce, he's got to be a Bentley, Thomas Partey, because it's just absolutely exceptional what I see from him. And I do probably think he probably was player of the match in terms of his all-round game. Declan's going to get it for his 2 outstanding free kicks, and I understand why. But Thomas Partey was absolutely faultless, bruv. It was different gravy, and I would give him another year extension after the performances I've seen this season. He's proved he can stay fit. All right, might not be unbelievably fit in terms of playing every single minute of every single game, and he's the most durable one out there. But at 30 or 31 years old, he's proven that he can stay fit for this season. He's been our best midfielder by quite some distance, and I think he's been one of the most consistent performers. And when you look at a wealth of experience and understanding
loves him as well, plays him all the time.
Well, he does love him, and that's why I'm wondering why he hasn't signed yet. I'm wondering why he hasn't signed yet. You know, is he going to sign a new 1-year contract? Is he going to be given another deal? I think he should be.
I think he should be, but the money, I think it's just a chance to clear ranks, and I guess in the summer we'll see.
But the problem is, it shouldn't be about that, should it? Do you know what I'm saying? It should be about who's performing on the pitch. Zubimendi coming in, cool, but he comes in and he tries to get in the team ahead of Partey, because at the moment he's our best six. He's our best six. Look, I want to revamp the midfield, and I want it to be some serious surgery in it. But if we remove Thomas Partey, it has to be someone better than Partey. If it ain't, then Partey stays in there. Yeah. So that's where I'm at with his performance. I thought it was unbelievable. In terms of his physical attributes, I've never doubted them. But his casual ability on the ball, his passing range, his consistency, and
most all-rounded midfielder we got.
I think so. People would say Rice, but I actually think Thomas Partey is the best of the midfielders that
he can do a bit of everything. Rice is just captain fantastic, and I love Rice, but I think Partey can do a bit of everything. Can do a bit of the Jorginho thing, bit of the Rice thing. I
think it was me and Kenny with Egal. And yeah, big up
Egal. Hey, side note, Dan, that stream you did with him, Lee, it's golden, man. Egal had his time, man. Big up Egal.
He did, man. Egal and Christian had their time finally. But look, I think Egal asked the question, who's our best player? He said Saka. And this was about 2 years ago, probably 2 seasons ago now, maybe 18 months ago. And I said Thomas Partey. And people didn't like that. They said, no way, it's Saliba and Saka. Now, I agree, it probably is Saliba and Saka overall. But the question was, when everybody is fully fit and when everyone is at their best of their games, who is our best player? And I believe it is Thomas Partey. And I still stand by that. When everyone plays their best, when everyone's got a 9 or a 10 out of 10, I think Thomas Partey, we win the game because of him. There might be moments from Saka's quality. There might be stability at the back with Saliba. He literally runs the midfield. And this is why I had so much respect for Patrick Vieira, players like Paul Scholes, players like Roy Keane, players like Yaya, players like Kante. Thomas Partey he's not at that level consistently, but he has moments where he's at that level. And games like the other night, he was at that level. Like, if you would have rolled back the years, you would have thought, crikey, who's that Vieira in the middle there?
He looked like the one, you see, if you typed in Partey on YouTube when we were about to sign him, that's how Partey was playing against Madrid.
Bruv, he can't go. I don't think he can go now. I don't think he can go. I'll actually be really disappointed if he goes. I won't be like devastated crying, because I believe that we can go and get another replacement. But come on, man. Like, let's be real. He was
an interesting one about like the key players thing, because I do think it's Saka. He's got inevitability. A half-fit Saka somewhat half-fit Saka has been great against Madrid. And I'd love to know your thoughts in a second, in a sense of, obviously, you was at the game. I think it was the first kind of, not street smart performance from Saka, but street smart, because he was putting his defenders on toast each and every time. And he obviously won the free kicks. But then at the same time, it's like he kind of, you could see, he knew when to, he was more conscious of when to ask for the ball, when to take his man on, when to kind of let other people shine. And I think Martinelli and Lewis Skelly initially in that game down the left were absolute quality. It's an interesting one though, because I think you've got a solid case with Partey. I think naturally, for obvious reasons, Saka. But then I tried to kind of flip it and think whose absence would be felt the most, in which they all would. But then you could throw Gabriel Magalhaes in there. I know we've batted up Madrid with Kivior, but you could say, I'd say our most important players, or players that have a case for that. I think Timber's thrown his hat in the ring. I think Partey's there. I think Magalhaes is there. I think Saka. And I think Declan Rice as well, man. Like, we've been skipping over it because he scored and whatnot. But like Rice, man, people say he's not world class. He's not worth the money. He's not an 8. Doesn't do it in big games. I've seen it in a big game, and I did wonder, why have you not been taking free kicks more often for our club, man? Where you at with Declan?
Oh, wow. He was unbelievable, wasn't he?
Amazing.
He was absolutely unbelievable. People like it when I eat humble pie. Not that I need too much of it.
You're not alone, Dan. You're not alone.
when I eat humble pie when we win a Champions League or a Premier League, it will taste beautiful. I was really happy though the other night to eat humble pie about Declan and his position in this 8. Because not that I do think he should play there, I still think he's a 6. However, I think he's got glimpses where he can play there, and when the opposition allows it, he can be absolutely like ridiculous. He was a destroyer. He was a box to box. He had athleticism. He had interceptions. Off the ball, he was world class. On the ball, he was magnificent. He was driving us forward. And I don't understand why Odegaard's been taking free kicks when this guy's got this in his locker. Maybe we haven't realised it yet. I think Mikel Arteta was actually stunned at how good he was. Now, I'm not sure.
100%.
You know, maybe he's not been doing that on the training ground, or maybe he's not been allowed to give that choice. Because this is what people say about Declan Rice. Why has he not been taking free kicks? I don't think the manager has said, "No, you're not on free kicks." I don't think Declan Rice has said, "I should be on free kicks and set pieces." I think where our set piece coach has got involved is it's always about deliver it into the box, deliver it into the box. And we saw, didn't we? He come out and he was doing that, whip it. Now, people think that was him whipping it round the wall to shoot. Apparently, it was whipping it to go to the far post because that was what he was told to do. And if you see in the interview after the game, he said, Bukayo Saka told me, if you fancy hitting it, Deck, hit it. So he did. And that was the first goal. And then the second one, he had the confidence to go, I'm going to go and put this. Now, that second free kick, let me tell you, my bro, that is the best free kick I've ever seen live at a football ground.
And I don't think you'll see a better one as long as you live.
And I don't know that there's a better one in Arsenal's history. There might be a better one in history with Beckham's and Roberto Carlos's and Janino's and all these, man. But for me,
in front of Roberto Carlos, it's crazy.
Brother, I do believe that it's the best Arsenal free kick I've ever seen. There's Thierry Henry's against Roma that was great, Juventus that was great, Villa that was great, Wigan where he said, is that enough to the referee? All those free kicks were outstanding. I don't think any of them were like this. In the terms of the momentum of the game, what it meant to the crowd, what it meant for this game against the best team that's ever been around.
Do it twice.
To do that twice in a game. I don't know how many times you've watched it, but it's got to be over 200 for me now.
Bro, I've watched it more times than I've watched certain things, man. Like, boy, I'm going to keep watching it regardless of how the campaign pans out. Like, goal of the season, without a doubt. There's no words for what Declan Rice did, but there's also something I wanted to ask you, yeah, because I think whatever people have to say about Mikel Arteta and whatnot, I think people can see the man can set us up well. He can compete. He can kind of micromanage little things and stifle the opposition and stuff. And I think all of that typically goes to script. Like, it could have ended 0-0, and that would have been a good point. But like you touched on it there, yeah, and that Saka said to Rice, if you feel like doing it, go and do it. Do you feel like we kind of need to do, obviously we can't do things just off the cuff too much, but in a game like that where you've controlled the margin, you've competed well, but you need that quote unquote stardust in which we need players. Do you think we need to start doing random stuff like that, or if players feel like it, just say F it, have a go type of thing?
So one thing I've always been critical of with Mikel Arteta is his man management and his micro management. And sometimes that is going to have a kind of positive impact and also a negative impact. Sometimes you've got to let footballers be footballers. They're on the pitch. It's in them. It's in their mindset. It's in their mentality, and it's in their quality and talent and ability. And when you've got somebody like Declan Rice, who's clearly shown he can take set pieces and deliver from corners and free kicks into the box, now he's shown that he's got some absolute techers when it comes to taking direct free kicks. And I think it will be very different now. You know, the last free kick we scored was Odegaard against Burnley in 2021. Yeah, directly. The Saka one don't count against PSG because let's just say how it is. He floated it into the box and it went all the way through and went in.
Dodgy.
Right? Yeah. So when I look at Declan Rice's 2 performances now, 2 free kicks now, I don't think there's anybody that can be disappointed if Odegaard's still taking free kicks. Because I like Odegaard. He's not had the best of seasons and he's getting a lot of stick at the moment. And I'm kind of struggling, sinking, trying to defend him at the moment. However,
didn't do much yesterday. Well, Tuesday.
Tuesday he was probably the worst out of the Arsenal bunch on the pitch, to be fair. But Declan Rice needs to take our free kicks now. And if they're from 25 to 35 yards, I want him to be digging them. I want him to be having the dig. I want him to be shooting, and I want him to be having the confidence to believe that he can do it, because what we've just seen from him is absolutely ridiculous. So I do feel personally that there's time now for him to take some of those on his own. Now, I understand at the time, again, I'll come back to it. I don't think Mikel Arteta believed he had that in his locker. I'm not sure that Declan Rice had the confidence to believe.
Probably surprised.
I think we're all surprised. The coaching team was surprised. The players were surprised. Rice was surprised. I think we might see a change now. And I think when we get to that, everyone's going to be like, oh, we're going to float this far post. No, Deccers is having a shot again. And I think you'll get that. You know, when you get like the next time that Saka or someone gets fouled and it's 35 yards out, every crowd's going to go, whoa, Declan.
Yeah, right.
We know
You're up, mate.
Which has got pressure on him, of course, to now do it all the time, which we know he's not going to. But I think it's a good thing, man. You know, like we had David Beckham for England. I always fancied his chance. He's the best free kick taker I've ever seen. Yeah. If he can be half as good as him, we've got a special talent, bro.
Special talent. And for me, I think Rice is captain fantastic, man. I think he's like Superman. Like, I've seen you do it twice against United, saw the cracker against West Ham, saved us against Chelsea. Tuesday. I keep saying yesterday. I'm living in Wednesday morning / Tuesday night still. The man's amazing. He's worth the money. Whether he's going to be a 6 or an 8, I wouldn't describe Rice as a complete midfielder, but I think within the remit of what Declan Rice is as a footballer, he's becoming more complete. He's showing us free kicks in his locker. Obviously, he's taking set pieces and he's adding goals and assists. We bought him for that dynamism, and I don't know how to explain it, bro. But if you didn't know we bought Declan Rice for 100 odd million, you would think that he's been here forever. I don't want to put him in the same realm as Tony Adams and all them kind of guys, but it feels like you're moving one day into that. You touched on Odegaard though, man. Like, I know Odegaard's struggling, and I think a lot of fans' frustration in relation to the Real Madrid game has been because Odegaard, we're not going to talk about Odegaard like we are about Rice and Partey and this one and that one, but I think he pressed well. I think he did all of that. You kind of hoped he did a bit more, but what did you make of Odegaard and actually Martinelli as well?
Yeah, both Martinelli and Odegaard had very different performances, in my opinion. Let's start with Martinelli. He's starting to show glimpses of his best performances of late. I've got to be honest with you. And although the goals and assists aren't always there with Martinelli every game, I think what he's done to create and try and allow for us, I sometimes wonder where we'd be with a proper centre forward, if I'm honest with you, with Martinelli and Saga.
You're not alone.
I feel like their assists and even their goals might even double if we had a number 9. I think Martinelli had a good performance again. I didn't think he was the best player on the pitch. I've told you I think were, but certainly for me, he's shown glimpses of being at his best again. I thought he was excellent in the last game at the Emirates that we played, and against Everton, obviously, was more of a kind of sort of scenario to get them both back to fitness for this game. I just think he don't stop running. He's just one of those guys that never gives up. I've never ever questioned his ability and his work rate and his technical ability. Sometimes he just has to deliver on the night, and it hasn't happened for him consistently enough in the last 18 months. But I'm really, really impressed with him. And I do question the coaching of him sometimes. I don't know that he's developed in the way that I wanted him to, because I feel like we've been a lot more pragmatic, a lot more resolute and compact. And it's been about passing backwards and keeping it safe as opposed to...
He's better in these kind of games.
He's better in the fast-paced games where he can express himself. And he was allowed to do that, and you see what he did against Fulham, and he just nuts in players, and he was by far the best player on the pitch, in my opinion. As for Odegaard, look, he wasn't shambles like some people are saying. He didn't have a very good night. Again, he was fairly quiet. He kept the ball moving, he pressed, and he worked hard. That's all you can ask as a bare minimum of a footballer, but that was about it. It wasn't much else from him. He definitely didn't shine. And I wanted him to have a good game, and I don't think he really delivered. Luckily, everybody around him were outstanding and kind of ended up carrying him. I've questioned him as the captain. I never really understood why he gave it to him. I never saw him as a leader. No. I don't go into the dressing room and see what he's like there, but I do believe that he's more of an Arteta role model, someone that Arteta wants everyone to be like in terms of a person, as a personality, and I've got nothing wrong with that. But for me, the captain should be one of the ones on the pitch that's leading us and carrying us and taking us through. And I think Gabriel and Rice have had more performances like that have won us games by the scruff of the neck than Martin Odegaard. I look what Gabriel has done in terms of his set pieces. How many games have we won or won because of those set pieces? Declan Rice has won us games on his own, like that Real Madrid one. He's beaten teams lower in divisions like Luton, we mentioned earlier, the 4-3 last minute.
Finds a way to get us over the line.
Yeah, Man United in the last kick of the game a couple of seasons ago, last season, sorry. So for me, when I look at what players have done to get us over the line by the scruff of the neck, I'm looking towards Saka, I'm looking towards Saliba, Gabriel, and of course Partey and Rice more than I am Martin Odegaard. And there's kind of every question mark I have about why you give him the armband, to be fair. Not that I think he's done a bad job. I'm not trying to say scrap him of it, get him stripped to the caps. It's nothing like that. He's never ever going to not be the captain. People say, I think Declan Rice is the future captain of Arsenal. Well, he's a year younger than Martin Odegaard. So Martin Odegaard ain't 35 and he's going to give the armband to someone next year. He's going to be the captain for Arsenal for the next 5 to 10 years, in my opinion. So,
as long as he's here,
you know, that's where as long as Arteta's here, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's where I'm at with him.
And that's it, man. I think Martin Odegaard. I always run a joke on my platform. I think he's the class region. I call him Wonderguard. I try and cut every excuse under the sun. But then when you just look through it, you're just in a bad patch. You're gonna have to get yourself out of it. And football's a fickle game. You know, a lot of people might have had similar thoughts to what me and you have about Mikel Arteta or Kivior. We win a game or win games, and it changes really. And then you look at Mikel Merino, who ironically I've been wrong about a lot of stuff. I've actually backed him from the start, not because I thought he was amazing, not because I thought he was a level raiser. I do feel in the summer we should have signed level raisers. We got ceiling ones. I do think that frustration kind of went over with some Arsenal fans. And I also feel there was a lot of tacticals that were saying he's going to replace Xhaka, he's going to do this, that, the third. All of these things went against him. I do think you need to give a player time to adapt. Now, I'm not saying he's the best thing since sliced bread, but I do like the run of form he's had. Obviously, he's getting goals. He's playing up front. He's doing all of that kind of stuff. But it's never nice to see someone down in their confidence. He's doing quite well. What did you make of him? Apparently, he's got 6 goals in 10 games. He actually has 4 against Real Madrid. And I think his overall performance has been good. If I'm honest with you, Dan, I think I keep saying this, and it's going to be Real Madrid now. But after the Fulham game, which I went to, I said, I think that was your best performance in an Arsenal shirt. I said the same about Everton, and then I've said the same against Madrid. So he's in a good run of form. What did you make of him? And also on that, like, is he better striker than Havertz for you?
So I know you backed him at the start, and I didn't believe that it was the right thing.
One time I've been right, man.
Yeah, well, it wasn't because I didn't think he could play there, because I'd never seen him play there, right? It was because I said this to Hudson yesterday and Judges. I was so pissed off that we didn't sign a striker in January that I didn't want this to be a scenario. That was where my kind of mindset was at. It's like, really, we brought this guy in to be a left 8, and now we're going to put him up top, and that's your chant. That's your kind of answer. Look, I've got to be real with you, bro. If we brought in a player in January and he got 6 goals in 10 games, I'd be saying, what a January signing. So I have to remain consistent. This guy has been phenomenal. Against Leicester, he came on and I thought, that's quite interesting. Different dimension striker. Fair play. And then it went a little bit quiet for him. He scored one against PSV, but let's just be real. So did 6 other people, right? Against Chelsea, he made it 3 points. Good header. Yeah, aerial ability. And now he's been delivering consistently in the last 10 games. I think it's been unbelievable from Arteta. I think he has noticed and seen the qualities of him. I don't think he can play in midfield. He can play in midfield, but I don't think he's going to take our midfield forward. But certainly as a squad player, which is what he was signed to do, I think he's been fine. He's been better signing than Calafiori.
And out of all the summer signings, he's been the one that's done the business the most.
Summer signing. Yeah, he's been the best summer signing. Not that it's hard. 3 of them have hardly played. But when I look at it now, you look back and you think, do you know what? Marino's come in and he's actually bought it, to be fair. Can we stop moaning about January now? No, we can't. Are you happy?
Very reactionary, Jay, man.
You happy with January, Jay?
Yeah.
January was a great sign in summer. We signed all these players. What are you talking about, man? Come on. Look, I feel like there's a lot of credit deserves to go his way, man.
It deserves it, man. And then we've touched on Real Madrid just before we close up.
DG, 1 second, man. There's someone smashing at my door. Give me 2 seconds, man.
Go on. Do your thing. Someone smashing his door. It's probably Jay, man. Started moaning about January and now he's on him, man. Like, Jay, on a serious note, where January is concerned, like, we can be happy with the conditions positively and negatively is how we move forward. But come on, we know it's not even a Marino thing. We know what we needed to do in the summer. We know what we needed to do in January. I'm at the point where it is what it is. Like I've said it before, the Champions League, I'll be real. For me, I don't know if we're going to win the Champions League. I hope we can, but I'll be real. Away from the obvious of beating Real Madrid and what me and Dan have been waffling about for an hour, I can't explain it. But I smelt something in the air. Now, cool, clip me up. I look stupid if we don't win it. I haven't said we're going to go win the Champions League. But there was something in the air, and something when I saw Mikel Arteta and all of these players, whether they came off the bench or they started, there was something I saw in my team that I have not seen since I was a child. Essentially, when we won the league, or even ironically when we got to the Champions League final, I can't explain it, but there was something. And you know what? It is what it is. We can scream and shout about Mikel Arteta and what we should have done in January in the summer, and I'm not saying to shut up about these things. We're at where we're at now. For me, I can't lie, it's a passion merchant thing. Let's just go all the way. And I'll be honest, that is one reason I kind of cut excuses for Mikel Arteta. He has to be held accountable, and I stand on everything I said. But then also when you flip it, and I hold him to high standards and he's not getting over the line. One thing I like about him, before all them La Masia stuff and moving the tactics board and inverting this and that, the guy's a passing merchant. So I'm just trying to get behind the boys. If we win the league, we win the league. Win the Champions League, we win the Champions League. But again, we've got a lot of big tests. You've got Inter, who are great, Barcelona, who are great, Real Madrid, we're not over the line yet. I actually want Aston Villa for the Una Emre stuff. But yeah, a man said, nah, stop it, DG. Arsenal did try and sign forwards in January, but Arsenal fans must understand not all players think Arsenal's a top club to go to.
Nah, man,
I hear that.
Man. There's so many
excuses. Go find the players that don't think it is.
Come on,
in the same way, if we got something in January or had a great summer, I'd be waffling about how good it is. There's always a reason.
Man, how we let Kvaratskhelia go, I do not understand.
And you saw what he did.
Absolute madness, bro. So sorry about that, man. Amazon were trying to break through my door. So
like, you know what? They're very tough. You know, like the DPD are the only ones that knock kind of silently, man.
It's unbelievable. I was thinking, crikey, is this the police or what's happening here? Like, unbelievable. Anyway.
I didn't know they were onto you that much for your Arteta comments, man. I ain't got long left, man.
Oh, man.
To kind of wrap this up, I want to go over some things, Like, I'm sure you've spoken about Gyokeres, but Fabrizio Romano allegedly has said Gyokeres will definitely be leaving Sporting this summer, and the Swede could be available for 65 to 70 million euros. Andrea Berta is a big fan of the striker and has been monitoring since his last summer for Atletico Madrid. Apparently, his agent was at the game, and I'll be honest, in the first half, if Gyokeres' agent was at Arsenal versus Real Madrid, you had to have been nudging your client like, yeah, you could play here. You would have scored a hat-trick already. But where are you at with that?
Brother, if this happens, oh, Lord have mercy.
We can start dreaming for real.
An absolutely outstanding signing. And people will have doubts about this because they will try to compare him to Darwin Núñez. Let me tell you why it's a different signing to Darwin Núñez. For people that think that everyone from Portugal is now going to be like Darwin Núñez. This guy is scoring 50 goals in 58 games. This season, he scored around 40 in 45 games. The season before that, he was at Coventry and single-handedly got them to a playoff final against Luton, which they lost. He scored 29 goals in the Championship. Now, when he went and scored 29 goals in the Championship, I actually give a lot of Championship players a lot of credit now. Now, probably a decade, definitely 2 decades.
Tough league, bro.
I never did. I've got to be honest with you, mate. I looked at Championship players and thought, nah, they're dusty. Now, when you look at the players that have come from it, I look at Crystal Palace, Adam Wharton, Michael Elise, Eze. You look at players that have come through.
Bowen was over there as well.
Yeah, Jared Bowen, Andrew Robertson. These guys that have come into teams that have actually now allowed there to be a great opportunity for there to be some great ballers. And then I look at Gyokeres and what he's done at Sporting Lisbon. People say it's a farmers league. Well, why is there nobody else that's doing that then? Because I see 50 goals in 58 games. I don't see the others doing that in the
and
farmers
the general
league.
Play.
Yeah. So for me, Gyokeres would be my absolute number one target.
26 as well, man.
If we can't get, Isak, which it doesn't look like we can, right? So for me, it would be an absolutely outstanding signing. For 60 M's, it's an absolute steal. This guy could be cheaper than Havertz. And you asked me earlier, actually, I didn't answer. Is Marino better than Havertz? Yes, he is. As a striker, yes, he is. That proves to me how bad we need a striker and how bad Havertz is. Right? So for me, Gyokeres will absolutely bang at Arsenal, in my opinion. I think he'll be excellent. And do you know what? If he doesn't, then I ain't my words, innit? He's scored at every league so far. He's been consistent. He's done it for club. He's done it for country. He's done it in the Champions League. I think he probably did it. Did he do it in the Europa the season before, or was that Champions League? Either way, he has been absolutely phenomenal.
Everyone's got to start somewhere, man.
Big fan, man. Big fan.
I can't lie, yeah. Obviously, I want to go through these quickly, but then somebody's alerted me to something in the chat. Either this guy is an Arsenal fan in disguise, or he's one of the biggest snakes I've ever seen. Apparently, our former CEO has been appointed at Tottenham. People, Vinay Ventukashev. He's their chief executive. What a snake! What are you saying for us?
Hopefully, he's rubbish for them. He was rubbish for us. So let's hope that is the case. What a nightmare! You can't do that. You can't go there. What is he doing?
So soon as well. You probably ain't even cleared out your office at London Coley. Snake.
Is that just broke now?
Yeah, literally. I thought someone was trolling in the chat, and I thought, like, when you went to go and answer your door, I thought, let me type it in. And I saw it, and I think even Ornstein's offered an exclusive. Like, they're forever in our shadow, man. From talking about power shifts,
they honestly copy everything we do, bro. Yeah,
everything. Bro.
And what's hilarious is they never copied us when we were winning at Highbury. Since we've moved to the Emirates and done things wrong or been failures or come second, they have tried to copy us in that period of time. Oh, we need to move stadiums. Oh, we need to try get top four. Oh, we need to try and give someone a project like Arteta with Pochettino. Oh, we need to go and get their old CEO. Do you know what I mean? This is the thing. They so want to be us, man. It's crazy.
The only thing they did better than us is I can't say Arsenal have got Beyonce at concerts and all of those kind of things. So shout out to them for that, innit? Really and truly. I'm with you with Gyokeres. Well, you indirectly spoke on this, yeah, and you spoke. Well, it's come out as well that David Ornstein has said that clubs have met with Dean Huysen. I can't pronounce his name's reps. Chelsea, Arsenal, Newcastle, Tottenham, and Liverpool. I'm having him. I just wonder, are we going to find 50 odd million quid to activate his release clause and then 50 odd on Zubimendi and potentially 50 odd on Nico Williams and then Gyokeres or whoever up front? Like, I understand it. I'm all for it. He seems to be twerking for Real Madrid. And where you look at how Bournemouth play and how they're managed and Arteta, and obviously the Premier League aspect, it makes sense to sign the 19-year-old, but do you buy it? Like, do you read too much into it? Or?
So, do I want him? I'd take him. Do I want us to sign him this summer? No. I'll tell you why. Because it means one of the other two are going, I think. Because he's not going to come and sit on the bench at Arsenal when he can go and get first-team football at Chelsea or go get first-team football. I think Real Madrid were circling him as well at one stage.
And he's twerking for them. Like, everything is, I grew up on Real Madrid. I want to play for Real Madrid. My friends say sign for Real Madrid. He's on it so much. He's been capped by Spain as well.
There we go. So I think that could be his dream move, is Real Madrid. So maybe he stays another season at Bournemouth and then he goes to Real Madrid, unless Real Madrid want him in now. Like, I hope that Real Madrid buy Huysen and Konate. Then they don't want Real Madrid or Gabriel. Don't want Saliba or Gabriel. But look, I think he'll probably end up elsewhere and not Arsenal. But if he comes in as backup to Gabriel and Saliba, that's fantastic.
I'm with that. I just wonder, like, obviously it's a double-edged sword because if you go if you go to every team, it's based on what Newcastle are trying to become. Definitely Liverpool, Arsenal, Real Madrid, Chelsea, not Spurs. Even though they got two decent centre halves, you have to expect competition. You have to want to relish competition. Personally, now we can throw this lad in there, but him, Gurhi, Diamande, when I see 50 plus million on the centre half, I don't know if we're going to do it. I think the interesting point is what you said there in what is going to happen with the existing two centre halves. David Ornstein also spoke about, even though this guy's on the right hand side, if Kivior goes, then we'll look to bring this guy in. But I'm sure Mikel Arteta and Berta have some sort of plan if they've really met with him and taken it that far beyond just interest. So we'll have to see how that one goes. So
if Kivior goes and he comes in, I imagine what will happen is Calafiori will be left-sided centre-back. And then Dean Huysen will come in to cover for Saliba. That's what I imagine they'll want. But I don't know if I see it happening, bro.
You never know. Arteta might just randomly start playing him in midfield or right back or something and fair play.
Yeah, man.
I think both of us, would want Osimhen, but that's a non-story. You having Mbeumo?
Yes, I do like Mbeumo. If he's £40 million, I think it's a steal. However, I don't think he's going to go for a right winger and a left winger. I think he's going to go solely for a left winger and use Ethan to cover for Saka. That's what I think he'll do next season.
You having Gyokeres?
Oh, he's the one I do want as a left back.
He's quality.
If I could sign a left back, I'd sign him. I do think Lewis Skelly holds that position down still, and he has to then fight it. But I think this kid is absolutely quality, mate. If you want to overlap in attacking left back, I don't think there's one better in the Premier League right now. He looks absolutely.
We were linked with him last summer as well.
I think left back, I think he's going to go Liverpool, bruv, if I'm honest.
It just makes too much sense in it. Like, Robertson's good, but he's declining. Obviously, he's way better than Tsimikas. Liverpool's a big club in itself. They're about to win the Premier League, although I have been drinking the positive Arsenal Kool-Aid off the back of winning 3-0. I hope they completely capitulate.
I think if I'm Liverpool and Trent goes, which I think he's going to go, I'd go and buy Daniel Munoz from Palace and Gyokeres from Bournemouth. That's what I'd do.
That's a shout. That's a shout. And they're going to hold on to Van Dijk. I mean, only Gooner is the only Arsenal fan that's going to sell Gabriel Magalhaes. So I won't even waste time on that.
He ain't going nowhere, man. He can't.
He definitely can't. What do you make of Havertz? Because apparently David Ornstein's more or less referred to that he's ahead of schedule. And he did score a Champions League winning goal. If we get past Real Madrid, are the stars aligning? I'm drinking the Arsenal Kool-Aid, Dan. I can't lie, man.
Yeah, listen, I think he's done until next season, and I'm happy with that, man. We haven't missed him, bro. I've got to be real. A lot of people say that we've missed Kai. What have we missed him for? He's got a worse goal scoring record in his last 10 than Marino. So, look, we've missed his depth. I don't think we've missed him in the first 11. I think we play better without Kai Havertz. I've got to be real with you. A lot of people deny that and say we're better because off the back of last season, we were scoring goals. I think we will be much better with Gyokeres in the side than with him. That's my honest opinion.
I can't blame you, man. I do want to see all of our players back fit because we're going to need everyone. And I'm starting to believe the stars are aligning. Obviously, Gabriel Jesus isn't going to play this season, but he's been pictured on a bike and whatnot. What do you make of the fact that, yeah, we spoke about Gyokeres, but Ornstein has said that we still have done a significant amount of work in Sesko. We like him, but apparently there's some reservations. Now, we've heard the reservations kind of talk before. What these reservations are, I don't know, but it seems like we're moving elsewhere. What do you make of that? Do you rate Sesko? Do you think Berta's pulled Arteta aside and said, listen, I know you lot were trying to work for Sesko, but Gyokeres is win now mode. He's better than him. Let's just do that one and keep it moving.
Bro, if it's the latter, I am so happy we've got Andrea Berta. Look, I'm not saying Sesko's a bad player because he's not. He's scoring goals in Bundesliga and he's doing well.
Man.
But he's not the level of Isak, Gyokeres, or that man. And I think Sesko would be like the third kind of tier of striker that we're looking at. I don't see a massive difference between Havertz and Sesko, if I'm honest. Sesko's got higher potential and he can probably ping a ball better than Havertz. That's about it. I honestly... Look, I wanted Isak and Kvaratskhelia as my left winger, as my striker. If we end up with Nico Williams and Gyokeres, I'm not going to cry about it. Because for me, I think both of them can actually show some quality in this side. A lot of people aren't a fan of Nico Williams, and I get that he's not been great for his club. But for me, if those two come in, I don't think they're horrendously bad signings. Gyokeres ahead of Sesko, if that's Berta, then I love Andrea Berta, man.
And as I said to you at the start, yeah, I know it's silly from me after all the things we did on Tuesday, but just to see Berta on the pitch and tap Arteta, and I can't comment on Berta because I don't know. You haven't been given a chance to really get your feet under the door at Arsenal. But it just seems that I don't want to use this word that everyone's using, but it just seems like there's an aura about you. You give me mafia boss vibes. You give me people cross you. It's like you're like Tom Shelby out of Peaky Blinders. So I hope you could do an absolute madness. Are you having Anthony Gordon? Because we've said that Ornstein said we admire him and Nico Williams. Obviously, getting Gordon, much like getting Isak, is a myth. But would you have him?
Yeah, I would. I don't think he's leaving Newcastle.
Be crazy to leave Newcastle.
I'd take him. I think he's one of the best left wingers in the Premier League. So I would take him. I'd probably take him ahead of Nico Williams as well, if I'm honest. But I didn't think there was an opportunity to get him. Lookman is the one that I would want from European League. Gordon's the one I'd want from Premier League. But I would take Nico Williams, but he'd be my third choice, man.
Eddie's obviously announced he's leaving. I mean, obviously, me and you are not working at Arsenal, but just kind of going with Berta and whatnot. What do you make of the fact that it's come out now? Arsenal's head of recruitment, James Ellis, is expected to leave the club at the end of the season as part of their recruitment shakeup, sources have told Football Insider. I think he actually joined Arsenal when Edu did, and he's leaving kind of when he is.
Yeah, I want to see a change in the recruitment. I actually, for one, have not been a massive fan of the recruitment overall. I think there's been some brilliant signings and I think there's been some shambolic ones, man. And if I'm honest with you, there's been 31 signings since Arteta arrived and there's about 8 of them that have worked. So you've got to look at the others and think, yeah, maybe the other 23 ain't that great then. So, yeah, there's been probably 8 players you look at that have been really good for us to get us title winning or title challenging. But when you look at the goalkeepers, the left backs, some of the defenders, some of the midfielders that we've signed, yeah, we know who the names are: Lokonga, Tavares, Pablo Marí, Fabio Vieira. The list goes on. But for me, I do believe there's probably been, I mean, Raya, Timber, White, Partey, Gabriel. If I'm honest with you, Erdegaard.
Rice.
Yeah, I'm starting to struggle on. Rice, starting to struggle.
Partey.
There's been 7 or 8 that have been really good. The others, the other 23 have been naff.
I think in the attacking third, Arteta's missed probably out of like the middle third. Sorry, the defensive third, middle third, final third. I think Arteta or Arsenal better yet. I don't know who's signing who. In the final third, there's been more misses, a lot more misses. Defense, there's been a lot of misses, but cool. We got into the promised land. Midfield, it's more of a case of, like you said, we need to replenish. Am I wrong in saying Trossard is probably his best attacking signing?
I'll give Trossard actually. That's another one I'll say fair play to. And there's probably some I've missed. I'd have to do it properly.
Saka come from the academy. Havertz, like Marino, ironically, was a midfielder. Other than that,
I don't think I can't put Jesus or Havertz as being hits. If I'm honest, in the attack-minded areas, I can't put Fabio Vieira. I can't put
definitely not.
Lokonga. Maybe if I was pushing the boat out and struggling to say great signings, maybe a good signing has been Jorginho because he's done his job. Maybe
I'll allow Jorginho. I'll allow that one. It's cool.
the others have been flops, man. If I'm honest, and the ones that have been bought out in, like what you call it, like what am I trying to say? Have been brought into like squad players, even like Lokonga and Vieira and like Tavares, Kivior, Zinchenko. They haven't been outstanding signings, man.
Company said Lokonga was the next Yaya Toure. I want them in the champs.
Oh my god, man! Yeah, that was
absolute
mad.
liar. He definitely got brown envelopes.
There's only been 4 players we haven't signed, right? So we've got it's been Saliba, Tierney, Saka, Martinelli, right? Yeah. He hasn't signed, and all the others he signed. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. There's been maybe there's 8 or 9.
Well. He did develop him, but he never. Saliba's not him.
Yeah, I'd say there's 8 or 9, but there's like over 20 that have been bad.
and that's where we need Berta to kind of help. And this is where I think I actually think with Arteta, you've done all the football complication thing, and you kind of still got to do that to a degree. But moving into next season, I hear it. You want a striker that pulls out to the channels, drops deep, and that, but. Can we just look at the primary job? Does the striker score goals? Can this winger take man on? Can this 8 or 6? Are they going to demand the ball and try and dictate the tempo? And then it's just about a couple of things, because that's the most annoying thing about Arsenal, in that it feels like we're so close. I'm not saying we're going to dominate and win everything every year, but it feels like we're so close to really achieving something of significance. But then we do like the 10 good things you have to do, and then we don't do the 10 other things. And then there's good moments along the way, but ultimately we end up without silverware. But like I said, I've been drinking the positive Kool-Aid, bro. I'm not going to say it, but let's start looking at Germany flights in it. Maybe, just maybe, just maybe. My final thing for you, obviously we've well, that's not going to load in it. We've pocketed 55.8 million in the Champions League, and lovely picture from Berta and Arteta. Hopefully that means we're going to spend money. But what do you make of the fact of, Romano said Arteta's staff members, Carlos Cuesta, Alberto Savenberg, Inaki Kanya, Nicholas Hover, and Miguel Molina have all signed new deals at the club. They're considered crucial by the club and of course the manager. And obviously Arteta signed a new deal a few months ago. Like, what do you make of the backroom staff committing their futures?
Yeah, no shock to me, bro. I think that they're keeping Arteta and his coaching staff, again, got faith in them, and they're going to work alongside Andrea Berta. And I honestly believe now the Cronkies have decided, and I hope this is true, but it's just the outside looking in, that Andrea Berta is now in charge and Mikel Arteta just sorts out the pitch and all his coaching staff.
Yeah, man.
Andrea Berta brings in the players, and of course, Mikel Arteta has a say on it. It's not like, right, Andrea Berta wants to go and sign Harry Maguire and Arteta can do nothing about it. Like, if that was the case, we'd be worried, right? So I think Andrea Berta will be saying,
as David Dean,
there you go. That's a great shot. And that's what we want to be doing. That's what we want it to be. We want him to be a right-hand man to Arteta, but he challenges Arteta, and Arteta looks up to him as a role model. And he says, look, this is what we did together at Atletico Madrid. We were successful here. This is what we're going to do at Arsenal. I'll bring you Gyokeres.
He used to push back on Simeone as well.
Yeah. I mean, like Gyokeres, Williams, Zubamendi, Cunha, these are all names being linked with Arsenal. That's exciting to me. It's not like we've been linked with these 3 players I never heard of that are 18, going to be good in 5 years' time. I'll be questioning it. So you got to believe in Arteta and Berta together this summer. That's all we've got now. Roll the dice, see what they do, and then it's time to deliver, man.
And my last question then, are we winning this?
The Champions League? I'm going to say no, because I'm going to remain realistic. I can't get gassed over just one result, and now I think we're the best team.
You've lost me, Dan. I'm gassed, man. You've lost you troops, everyone. You've lost the member, man. I'm gone now. I'm gone.
I've got to be real, bruv. I've got to be real, because I was like you. I was like, right, we could do something mad here. But then reality hits you, and you the emotion, you come down from it, and you're like, do you know what? This is incredibly hard. One, I think it's still hard to get through this tie. A lot of people think we're through, but I picked
trust we got to go Bernabeu, bro.
Yeah, Bernabeu's not fun. PSG are absolutely electric if we get them. They look ridiculous as a front three.
That'd be a good one for the neutrals.
Yeah. And then it's Barcelona, Inter Milan, Bayern Munich. I personally think it will be Barcelona, but Inter Milan, Barcelona would be horrible in the final. And I think it will probably, if I had to put my money on it, be Barcelona who wins this. I want Barcelona in the final if we're lucky enough to get there. Because 1, I want revenge, and 2, I actually think the defense can be got out more than Inter Milan. So I think Inter Milan would be horrible to play against. Yeah, so that's why I'll go there, man.
It's a weird one, because I know their form was different and the competition is different, but I just think Luis Enrique, we beat PSG before, and they've obviously got exciting players. I kind of want to see us compete against Paris Saint-Germain, because they play good football, and I think Arteta and Luis Enrique has done it all in the game. Arteta hasn't, but I think that's a good kind of thing. I do think we've played Inter before, we've competed, we got a dodgy penalty, so maybe it just feels like there's I don't know why, but my brain just keeps telling me stay away from Inter Milan. There's just something about them, just stay away from them. As you eloquently put, nobody wants to play Barcelona, but then you could caveat that and say nobody wants to play anyone. I'm a bit childish, but in an ideal world, I want PSG to go out. I want to play Aston Villa. I want to dump out Unai Emery because he used to be our manager, and obviously Villarreal. I would love to beat Barcelona in the final. We all remember in 2006, ironically, when we beat Real Madrid en route to the final, 13 minutes away in Paris, what we could have done. If we win this Champions League, I'm going to be the happiest man under the planet. As I said, Dan, you lot have lost me. I'm just doing, you know what? I'm at the point now. This is the only thing I've got to cling on to. I'm doing positive toxicity until the end of the season, and I'm back to normal, man. Dan, as you know, this is always brilliant being here with you. We're back on your platform next week. Well, you got to come out, man, because you're always streaming. Your work rate's crazy, like.
La, man, listen, you're telling me I'm telling you.
Nah, you give me a run for my money, man. You do madness because people don't see when you pop up on other streams. You're a madman.
Nah, love, bro. Come on, it's always a pleasure, man. At 4 p.m. Is it 4? Yeah, 4 p.m. today. Me and Curtis on my channel. So that'll be a good show. So Curtis will be coming on at 4. We're talking all things Arsenal, so make sure you join us over there, people, on Football's 12th Man. I dropped a little bit of a clip with your Gal versus Lee Gunner. Oh my God, man. There's another one coming out later tonight.
We got them both.
Make sure you come and sub because you got to come and look at these two going.
Get your popcorn ready.
It's crazy, man. Get the popcorn out. But make sure you like and subscribe, people, and big up for having me, DG.
Likewise, man, and hopefully, we would have played Real Madrid when we're back on your platform. Hopefully, I'm still drinking the Kool-Aid. I don't want to come back to reality. There's been no point this season where I've not got to dream. This is my only thing I've got. But yeah, you heard the man. Clips are coming out. 4 p.m. he's back live. And to be honest with you, he's probably being a bit dishonest to you lot because the man is always live. So go subscribe to Football's 12th Man. Turn on your notifications. You either see him making his own content, or he's got shows with other Arsenal fans, or shows with other football fans. And yeah, enjoy your Friday, man. On to Brentford, people. One love. Come on, Dan. I'm out.
Love, man.
See I hope we can win the champs, I tell you, if you win, man, the Champions League, bro, Kyle Saka, Lewis, DG, do you really think you, man, can win the champs? Of course we can. Fuck it. They bleed like us. I don't care about tactics. It's desire, it's passion, it's big super Mikel Arteta. We got left backs playing centre mid, fake strikers, centre mids playing up front. Kivio is probably like 7th choice standing up to be, hey, we could do this. Oh shit, still live. It's AI. It's AI. This is all AI. Oh Lord, this is all AI. You never. Hey, StreamYard did me dirty. Are you talking to Rats later? Hutch, bro, half an hour. We're there with Rats. We're there. I'm on nonsense. I didn't even know I was still live. Big up, Dan. But hey, bloopers and that. Hey, you know, got me doing the fake, the toxic positivity. Oi, StreamYard, you done me dirty, StreamYard. Man, spitting bars, gassing myself, bro. Do you know, as I said, I'll be honest, I have a love-hate relationship with Arteta. It's like, you see, if you had a friend, yeah, that's talented, like, let's just say he's a talented rapper, and you say, go studio, bro, make music, bro. He goes studio one time, then he don't go again, and that's how I feel about Mikel Arteta. I think you're so good, bro, man. I've been in the press conferences, been to the games. As I said, fuck all his tactics and shit. He's mad passionate, bro. He's mad passionate. I'm on that. We live in England, mate. It's about all of that. Just who wants it? He's on all of that. I'll tell you, even if you don't rate him, you'll run through a wall. Trust me, you'll run through a wall for him. I used to think it was PR. You see, when the players sit there and you don't want the players sit there and say, oh yeah, the manager convinced me and da. I thought that's just what the footballers say. Trust me, aura. He does that. The tactics. Even when we lose, we're not getting badded up anymore. There's something in this guy. I'm not saying, but because I rate him so much, bro, if you're not doing certain things, I have to ask myself why. And bro, just please, Arteta, man, just because at the end of the day, I want to back you, bro. But I ain't got nothing to stand on. Like, there's only so much people want to hear about me, myself as well. There's only so much want to hear about tactics and all this. Are we going to win something? And I'm not saying it's as white and black as that, but I can't lie, man. It's a positive toxic figure. All we got. I'm on this. We're just gonna run this Champions League thing until the wheels fall off. Obviously, we need to deal with Real Madrid. You got PSV, you got Inter, you got Villa. You still technically got Dortmund. You got Bayern. Have I said Inter? You've got Inter. If I have, that means I'm scared. Dortmund are still in it. Barcelona, if ever made clear, bro. Like everybody who follows my platform, you know I love the Champions League. We need to win that. Poor Bukayo Saka, that's done so much. He gave an interview on Amazon Prime, and they're a bit of pricks because they asked him a question. They were like, "What's the biggest team that's played the most games in the Champions League and not won it?" Like he said, I don't want to say it. He can't be violating my star boy. He needs that. Imagine we won the Champions League this year, people. Do you know how shameless I will be? Do you know how and forget the shameless thing for a second. Do you know what's the saddest thing and why I have this, I don't want to say hate, but love-hate relationship with Mikel Arteta? Because I can't celebrate certain things and there's nothing in history. And we all know the talking points, what we should have done in the summer, what we should have done in Jan, the games we won, the games we drew, the games we lost, the tactics, the protagonists, the losses of form, the young players, everything. At this moment in time, City hold the Premier League, right? Obviously, Liverpool back to win it, but they hold the Premier League, right? I'm not talking nonsense. We smoked them at our place after what happened with Lewis Skelly. Lewis Skelly and Wanieri have come onto the scene. We have smoked Real Madrid at our place. Hopefully, there's no comeback thing. But let's just assume we go through against Real Madrid, and unfortunately, we don't win the Champions League. And obviously, we're not winning the Prem. We'll remember it, but there's nothing set in stone. You can't tell me that there needs to be some history. You lot know I'm a big Halen fan. Saka agendas. All of it, like a left back has done all of this. All the shit that they say about Saka. I've got agendas loaded. Wanieri, there's agendas. Mikel Arteta, there's agendas. Kai Havertz, Moreno, there's agendas. Declan Rice, especially because of them free kicks, there's agendas. And I just want to win. Forget all of this. Arteta's the guy. He's not the guy. This one shit, that one shit. Who cares? There could be a parade in May. Please, Arsenal, man. Because like I said earlier, yeah, you've made me believe, man. Not even believe that we're winning the champs, but there's something I've wanted to miss. There's something. And I know I do this analytical thing, balance head stuff, but it robs me of just being a fickle football fan. There was something in the air against Madrid. Like I cannot put my mind, like the thoughts on it. But there was something that I've been searching for in this team, and I saw it. Forget that it's not even anything to do with the result or anything. It's just it meant something to you, man. You're with it. Win some shit, man. Come on. I just want to point out as well, yeah, that my birthday is on Sunday, April the 13th. Real Madrid got sourced in my birthday week. Maybe it was me. Positive omen. Big up us Aries babies. Like it weren't the atmosphere. It weren't the atmosphere, bro. It weren't. That stuff plays a part bigger. It weren't. I'm talking about the players. Like there was something. And I've seen it when I've seen City doing what they're doing, and Liverpool, and ironically Madrid, and all. I've said this kind of thing before. I saw it. They were phenomenal. They were phenomenal. But it's the players. I can't, like, I've seen what I've been searching for. I found it. It's like I finally found that buff Browning. I found it. She's smiling at me and that. DG on the wheels. Pardon me, I don't know what that is. I hope that don't mean crack or something. But yeah, I ain't on. I hope you're not buying me. Please don't make sure you're buying me, please, because it's Friday. I'm gonna assume you're not. Glad to have love, bro. Glad to have you. Christian, you pissed me off. Because some of you pissed me off in the comments. You think I didn't see your comment? Oh my god, you're doing the toxic thing. That's the one thing that pisses me off about content. When I bring other content creators, because I try and do a good job of bringing people who are more positive, negative, people got personality, more analytical dons, because that is what football, like society, mirrors. But when you lot tell me those are my thoughts, I always say I don't tell you what to think, just think. If I know I feel some way and the next man feels another, I'm not going to force my opinion down him. And I like to speak with different ranges, because I might not agree with someone who's doing the Mikel Arteta out thing to the maddest extent, or those that are doing the positive, toxic Mikel Arteta is the best thing since sliced bread. He's the love of my life. They'll probably let him bang their wife. Yeah, but they might say a little nugget. I'm like, you know what? That's true. That is one for Christian. Nah, you're not Christian. You're a pagan. I'm childish. I wasn't even trying to put up your comments when Dan was here. Now you know what I feel like, Mikel Arteta, because this is how some of the fans move. 1 minute they love you, then they hate you. Just as long as we're smashing like buttons, we're subscribing. I'm back at 4 p.m. as well, people, on this platform. I'm gonna have Jordan. You see, well, Jordan's heavy in the media game anyways, but he's typically on AFTV. 5:30. We'll run over everything we've run over here. We'll look at all the other talking points. Fuck Vinaya as well, you dickhead, on that topic as well. And we'll go over, I'm sure Mikel Arteta has either had his press conference or is in the process of that. We'll do that. Obviously, we'll get some clips cut up for you lot. And then we're calling until Arsenal versus Brentford. I'm going to probably have an Arsenal show tomorrow, so Saturday 5. We're going to be live at 5:30. Well, the game kicks off at 5:30, so I'm going to aim to be live at 4:30. I should have a show about 11 a.m. people. So yeah, I'm ready to party as well. Listen, I'm ready to get my nice little jeans on and that. Now I hear it, but I glaze. Why for that? I don't glaze. I do criticize. I don't want to lose the Saliba of managers. I'm going to make sure that don't happen. I like Arteta, but I'm not on this Arteta to the death if we're not getting over the line. Neither I'm on this drawing him out. Kind of what Dan said, yeah. It's long now because at the end of the why? Because at the end of the day, whatever you believe about the gaffer, the new coaches have signed new deals. Berta has just come in. The manager signed a new deal before a ball was kicked this season. He's not going anywhere. So whether I believe in him or don't believe in him, it's redundant conversation. That isn't the same as, yeah, big up yourself, Arteta. We won that game against Madrid, or we effed up against Brentford, or you need to do this and that. That's what football's about. And I mean, you know, the more positive fans are having their way. Oh, DG, you didn't believe, or we beat Madrid. But before that, it was all that I told you so stuff. To be honest with you, I don't give a fuck about being right. I just want Arsenal to be successful, win stuff, and have moments like against Madrid. You think what? You think I didn't want to do a madness when I was there at Talksport? I'm there, oh yeah, man. To be honest, it didn't all sink in, but bro, I'm a competitive person. I don't believe in just, no matter how difficult things are, just being pussycats. So when I'm seeing how we're moving, like with all of the contexts, it's a good day, man. It's a good time. And this club is beautiful, you know. Do you know how beautiful this football club is? Every now and again, she remembers how beautiful she is, but she keeps forgetting. And it's high time we're used to days like that. I mean, Madrid, can we play you every week? God forgive me. Stay humble. Things are looking good, DG. Things are looking good. A season we were disappointed in has now filled us with belief. Aye, bro, I've got belief for the champs. I've drank the Kool-Aid. That's the last drink in the fridge. If there was drinks that were league titles and whatnot. We've got a good base. I keep saying that. But every year that we don't get over the line, it's tired, boy. It's tired. There's no point revising for a test with a good teacher. She or he is telling you, oh, you know what? We did a mock test. You scored an A. But every time you actually take the real test, maybe you've got the, you know, mentally you've got it, but you get nervous when you see invigilators and whatnot and you start getting Fs. At some point, something needs to change. Hit the like button. Big up Jamie. I can't like big up you. You're always in the comments. DG the philosopher. I don't know. You know what? You've been saying that for years, and big up yourself. I don't know where that came from, but one love. To be fair, I don't know where the shirt thing came from as well, man. I don't think we've got an inferiority complex. I think us fans do. Me myself, I still think we're new here. We're a bit shy in that like, but it's calm. And can we win the champs? I don't understand the question. It's a very simple but complex question at the same time. What do you define as winning the Champions League? Because yes, it could be lifting silverware, in which Arsenal statistically have a chance. We're there. Madrid is still there. PSG is still there. All of those teams are still there. We're in the latter stages, so we do have a chance. But in many ways, you could look at how we've learned the lessons against Real Madrid in the first leg versus Bayern Munich last year. Look at the climate we went into. We've got injuries. We've got players like Saka and Timber that are probably not in the best form of health. We've got Kivio is probably 7th choice. We've got question marks over the manager. In many ways, seeing them stand up to be counted, that could be defined as winning. You said UCL. I'm not sure what UCL is. So there's many ways of defining it. It's a simple yet very complex question. I'm not sure of what you mean. I can't believe YouTube done me dirty. I thought the stream done. I thought I was sat here with myself. I mean, we're still here. I mean, Ranks' stream is at 3, so it is what it is. It's the way you talk sense. To some people, you talk sense. To some people, you are deluded. If I had £1 for every time I heard I have a comment, respectfully to Gyokeres, you're the least of my problems. I'm signing you. I'm signing Isaac, Nico Williams. Berta would have to sign me because I got the piece. We get to the finals and come second, but don't win the champs. We say it's been a successful season. No. Life gave us some lemons. We made the best Kool-Aid and Ray and F we could. But nah, G. We made it. It turned out a bit better, but there's nothing in history. You can't say it's successful. It's a season of in relation to Europe, if that's the case, progress. In the league, stagnation. And I'll just still define it as what if. Like, it would have been what if, because I keep saying this. I can have question marks about my players, the squad depth, the direction of the club, the manager. But unpopular opinion, I don't think we're mad shit. Like, we're not 14th and we're getting battered. We've got a distinctive brand of football. We've got first world problems. We've got a distinctive brand of football. I just need Arteta to do little things in terms of recruitment, plan Bs, different solutions, moving the ball quicker. You know, we're vexed about not winning the trophy. We come back from back-to-back 8th, all of those kind of things. So we've got new age problems, but it's like we're here. We've put our nice shoes on, nice trousers on, nice whatever. Our friends are linking us. Put the what do you call it again? The aftershave on. And if you know, for you lot would have seen I did this. If you know, you know. If you don't, any man that goes to raves and don't put the aftershave here, dark arts. You don't know what you're doing. But it's like we've done that. We've got in the Uber. The man that have driven and whatnot. Got in the rave now. We've got to the line, and someone's forgot their ID. That's what Arsenal is. Like, it's a lot of foreplay, no penetration, and I just want to get over the line. We're here, you know. Well, where we need to be is here. We are here, people. We are here. We're flirting with it. We're knocking on the door. Just smash the glass ceiling, man. Please. Balance Gooner is the real name of his channel. It depends who you ask. If we win the champs, there's one man to thank. Miles Lewis Skelly, no cap. He's been our player this season, bro. Agendas. Nah, be real, Deluded. I thought you named yourself Deluded to troll because you talk the most sense of most Arsenal content. I don't know, man. One thing I've realized is people can think what they think, man. You should see the comments I get. I hear a lot of comments. The latest comment, I think I said it on the live stream. You know how many comments I get about, oh, if I see you at the Emirates, I'm going to do this. I'm going to mash you up. I'm going to do this. Okay. Good luck. Don't let the baby face fool you. And you know what? Bring it on. I ain't the most intimidating. I know man got a little size. Pause. Gally, therefore got a little size for you. Only 5'8". Try your luck, man. Try your luck, man. When you're a top club, the ingredients to winning the champ is belief, momentum, and a bit of good luck. If we go for against Madrid, that can give us belief and momentum. I hear that, Sadiq, and you're right. But then, I do think that's, and you're not wrong, but that's a bit Disney Channel-ish. I need to see the Savages still. Like, who do we really bet on? Brother's still live and going live after this. Is what it is. Bro, people threat Jerome. People threaten me all the time, bro. Every YouTuber gets threatened, bro. Like, bro, I've been threatened my whole life. Forget YouTube. There's nothing to be proud of. Like, and for me, love for the love, word to Turkish. All I get is, but the majority of it is love on YouTube. Again, I'd love to be proven wrong, but in the flesh, and big up you lot. All you lot do is one love. Keep, even yesterday, keep doing your thing. I appreciate it. So I can't take it seriously. DG, I know you can. DG, you know I can get you student discounts for size 7 shoes. That'll be difficult because I'm a 9.5, 10. Yeah, man, I ain't worrying that DG go mainstream now, so he has to play it by the book. What have I played by the book? You know what? If I play, that's my problem. I can't lie. I can't say something I don't think is the truth. I can't do the yes sir, no sir, 3 bags, 4 sir. So we're kind of in this weird thing where the culture, which is you lot, and like just normal YouTube, you lot half fuck with me. The mainstream flirt with fucking with me, and we're just here, man. We make it look wavy though. You get called anything, man. I feel for the people who slandered Rice before the game. You know what? I've said this, and I'm gonna say it again. Out of all the issues we've got with Declan Rice, I mean with Arsenal. Declan Rice is not one of them, bro. We're just in the weight room getting jacked while they laugh. We keep working, and in the end, they'll be looking at us. I hope so, but can we just win a trophy, bro? We're same size. Why for that? You know, me and you are the same size. Gallitic. I don't know what you're doing, Yas. You're moving crazy. I don't know. I don't know. Why for that? I swear you support Man United. It's on brand, all-inclusive platform, though. The man there soon play at Pride Park. I'm being silly. Gittins from Dortmund. I like him, but the money they're asking for is a bit mad still. 100 million. I don't know. I don't know about that. The manager leads to a certain point, but then you need players to seize the moment without the direct. It's true. And we moved like the Real Madrid players isolated to that 90 minutes. But then if we're honest, I know quality isn't the same thing, but I do think beyond the obvious, bro, we need better players. And that's not a diss on the majority of our players. Come on now. We need better players. We need a gunman up front, need another centre mid. There's too many unanswered questions going into next season. Who is going to be fit at the start of the season? Who are we going to buy? How is Mikel Arteta going to evolve the team, whether it's whether he keeps the same formation and system and tactics and makes little tweaks, or is there going to be something widespread? I don't know. This is positives and negatives. Jamie Kitters. Let them keep doubting us. We crumble when we're favourites, underdog settings. I hear that, but I'm not on the underdog thing no more, man. Like, Arsenal Football Club, man. Puff out your chest. I'm not saying we're the biggest and baddest, but fuck it. Can do a thing. We might not be Beyonce, but we're Kelly Rowland. Kelly Rowland, I definitely believe in you. Can't imagine you're not listening to my stream. Shout me. Shout me, please. People threaten online. You know what though? People who can't fight are the ones who make the most noise. It's bro, Jerome. Not being funny. I hear you, but I put my opinions on a public platform, and like I think as humans, we're kind of geared to focus on the negatives. Like 100 people could say you're good, DG. One man could say you're shit. Air it. Like if someone tries to do something to me in the physical, and that's another thing. Best of luck to you, because I'm not going out like that. I really ain't. Kelly's way longer than Beyonce, bro. No one wants to run back the 2006 final, DG. It's true. It's true. Nah, Kelly Rowland's better than Beyonce. You know, I've always thought Kelly Rowland is better. Hey. I ain't going to talk about the second bit. But yeah, Beyonce's a snake. Beyonce knew Kelly Rowland was going to shine, so he done whatever. And, you know, Jay-Z's significantly older than you, and Beyonce, you don't look the same now than you did then. But Kelly Rowland's a Lengas, mate. Kelly Rowland, Loz, Miss Banks. Who else can we add to it? Ashanti, all of you lot. All of them shout me. But yeah, we're getting stupid people now. We got 15 minutes until. Make sure you follow over to Rancy's stream. Wait, how did you redirect? Let me try to do this. Arsenal done a madness and Onana fucked up their base. It's leng. Drop a DG raid on the chat, man. I've always wanted to say that. Like sometimes I watch content creators and they're like, W chat. I want to be like them. Come on, hey, leave a W chat, leave a deluded chat, W chat. I need to be one of them kind of content creators still, man. Sarah Banks. Who's that? Big up, man. Love it when he's rattled. Who's that? All right, we're being silly now. On a serious note, follow over to Rancy's stream. Peace. Back at 4 as well, though.